Hey guys. What's wrong? He is the needy one. I can't hold you and do this video. I can't. I can't do it. Hey guys. Welcome to Tinsley Trials. You cannot be this needy right now. You can't. This is the second thing he's interrupted me, and I'm only in the intro. Bilbo. Bro. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. Hey guys. So this video is a long time coming. I feel like I promised it a while back, like early on in the channel, and so here it is, I guess. This is a video completely 100% dedicated to the makeup sponge. All of a sudden you might be questioning your decision to watch this video, but that's probably because you're thinking of this. A little white triangle sponge. This is not what we're talking about. If you didn't think of this, you maybe thought of something like this. A pink little egg-shaped sponge. Now, if you're thinking of this, you're more in the correct direction. But today is all about the sponge. The best sponges, the worst sponges, the sponge. So, we're going to start out with my least favorite sponges. And this is a very broad category. So my least favorite sponges are ones that are not latex free. Not latex free. Latex in makeup sponges leaves them very kind of dense feeling and limits their ability to expand when they're wet. So there are two ways to identify whether or not a sponge at your local drugstore or Sephora is latex free. The first way is the packaging. For example, this sponge is from CVS. It's by Beauty 360. And right here on the packaging, the very bottom, you'll see, boom, latex free. Or, for example, or even on this is the Real Techniques sponge. It'll tell you directly on the packaging that you can use it when it's wet or dry. The good sign of it being latex free is that it says you can use it in water. Now, the reason there's a difference between a sponge that you can use in water and whether or not you can only use it dry is a wet sponge absorbs less of the product. You all know how sponges work. We use sponges to clean our house. A sponge absorbs moisture. It absorbs your cleaning product and lets you use it all over a surface. But for makeup, that's not why we like this sponge. We don't like it because it absorbs our product. That's wasteful. We like a makeup sponge because it creates a smooth, perfect, flawless application. So, to create a perfect makeup sponge, you need one that will absorb water and can be used when it's wet, because otherwise it's going to spend all of its time absorbing your makeup. So, I have a little bowl of water here. It's just water, no cleaning solution, no nothing. So I'm going to put it in the water, I'm going to squeeze it, fill it up with water, and I want to show you what happens. So it doesn't get everywhere. Set our bowl down. It is the exact same size. This means this particular sponge, because it didn't change size, didn't get any softer. So this one, I'm really squeezing this, and it's very hard and dead. A sponge that is light and soft, because this on my face, awful. It will hurt, especially around the eye. Pressing on the eye It's too firm. So this one, don't buy it at the Dollar Tree. Do not buy their sponges unless you want a sponge for packing on powder. I love a dry sponge for powder. Great for that. So, not a good sponge from the Dollar Tree. Or you might see sponges on the internet that come in multi-packs and weird funky shapes. Now, if you can buy a multi-pack for a few dollars and it doesn't explicitly say that they're latex free, it's not going to be a quality makeup sponge. This one is not latex free, but it's rather soft. This is one of the only makeup sponges I'm comfortable using in a pinch that's not latex free. And it happened to come in a package with a bunch of other sponges. I hate the other sponges. They're awful. They're way too hard. I don't like the shape. Not good. And these came from Amazon. I'll put a link down below so you can avoid them. Now, I want to talk about some good sponges. Some excellent sponges. Sponges that I would buy 1,000 times over. And there are like 5 that I'm going to talk about. 5 sponges worth every penny. Totally should buy them. We'll start with the obvious sponge. We're going to start with the original Beauty Blender. This is the sponge that started it all. Literally. This has won tons of awards. This one is brand new in the package. This was a duo package. I buy them 2 at a time because usually I get like some cleanser with it and it's less money that way. I feel like I'm about getting a bargain. So this is the one that's still unused, and it says right on the packaging, latex free, right there, teeny tiny letters. And these are handmade. Each one is hand shaved. Also made in the US, which is great. Alright, so I want to show you something. The difference between a brand new dry beauty blender and a wet beauty blender. Because I'm taking, this is already wet. Okay, I got it wet before I started filming. Because I want to show you guys the difference. This one is obviously used. I swear, this isn't that old, but my cats love these things. They think they're toys. So they like attack them constantly. So there's like little holes in it. But it's not that old, I promise. So this is a wet beauty blender compared to a dry beauty blender. This is also brand new, so the dye, these pale over time because you wash them so much, and it's dyed with vegetable dyes, so they rinse out. Don't worry, they don't stain your face or anything. It just rinses out when you clean it. So it does get lighter over time. But this is how bright they are originally, and then this is a used one. So when it's wet, it expands to almost, I would say easily twice, if not 3 times the size of the original. And this one feels super soft and cloud-like, already dry. When it's soft, I mean, it's so soft. It's incredibly bouncy. It's wonderful. But it's $20 for one sponge. One sponge. The 2-pack is $40, but you also get a full-size cleanser, which I use to clean all of my makeup sponges. Now, am I committed to the Beauty Blender? I like to have one around. I like to talk about them and show people the difference between the Beauty Blender and the drugstore one. Because guess what? I love my drugstore Beauty Blenders, aka Real Technique Sponge, aka 360 whatever. And it is one thing to have an item that you cannot live without. This is not one of those for me. I keep one around to show people the difference, to say, hey, save your money, buy the $6 sponge. But if you've never tried one, definitely get one, try them, and see which you like better. Because some people do like this better than the other. But, anywho, Beauty Blender, wet, dry, Holy Toledo. Okay? I'm going to put this brand new one back in its package because I'm not ready for a new one. things are so precious to me because y'all know about saving that money and they're expensive. Now, moving on to the next obvious sponge. This is the Real Technique sponge. This one is brand new in the box. This is, again, the wet version of the Real Technique sponge. This is the brand new out of the box, dry version. It grows up to twice the size. It is softer than a beauty blender. You heard it, I said it, it is softer. It is a sponge that has, it's tighter knit, but yet cloud-like still. It is latex free. And yet it doesn't bounce like the beauty blender does. That's what you sacrifice, is the bounce. Now, the application is beautiful, flawless. I used this before I ever bought a beauty blender, and I loved it because for $6, or you can get a 2-pack for $10, but for $6 versus $20, I got what I felt was the exact same application. And I could find it at Walgreens, or Walmart, or Target. Awesome. Do sacrifice a little bounce. It's not quite as bouncy. I'll show you. Like you can, this like springs back faster. This is just cushiony. Does that make sense? Memory foam spring mattress. But both soft. Definitely softer. Now, our next options. These, I think, are lesser known options. One is more expensive than the Real Technique sponge, but not as expensive as the Beauty Blender. And the other is available. It's a brand from CVS. This next sponge, it's called the Perfectionist Airbrush Sponge. It is from Sephora. Boom. Comes in this little box that says Sephora on it, and it fits in here just like that. And it comes with directions. And this one, it says to put it in water, but it does not explicitly say latex free. So I'm not sure that this is latex free. And it's this interesting shape. I like it because it feels like I have a little handle. Okay, so this isn't dry. I'm going to get it in the water. I'll let you see that live. So dry sponge, submerging into water. And now it's quite large. So when it's dry, it fits into this little box, and then it inflates to this large size. Now, Morgan, what is the difference between a Real Technique sponge, which is $6, and this sponge? This sponge, I think, is as soft as a Real Technique sponge, but has the spring of a beauty blender. It is both worlds. Congratulations, Sephora. I truly believe that as far as feeling, this one's the best one. But the shape, it's kind of hard to use this shape for, it's just, the surface is strange. I wish it had a rounded bottom. But my real pet peeve with this, it's fragile. I hardly ever use it. Why? Because the second time I used it, look what happened. I was dabbing, can you guys see that? And my fingernail cut this giant hole in the sponge. That's huge. That's like an inch long. You can't expect me to be careful, like barely dabbing. No, Sephora. You cannot. So, I occasionally use it still, but it's very rare, and it's usually when all my other nice blenders are dirty. So, oops. But if you can get it to be not so fragile and give me a round bottom, I will buy this instead of the beauty blender. That's a deal, Sephora. Alright. Next, this is a brand called Beauty 360. It is only available at CVS. They sell two types of sponges. They sell this one, which is pink, and it has this little hole in the bottom of it that you fill up with foundation, and you just supposedly dab this on. That didn't work for me. It felt like a suction cup on my face. I didn't like the shape very well, but I bought another one because I did think it was a good option, and I like how close it could get to up here. But when I bought this, I purchased another one from the brand that was also latex free, and it is this adorable shape. So we have our flat bottom for application on all over the face. But look at how pointed this tip is. Nothing gets closer under the eye than this. Plus, it's latex free, so it expands in water. Came in the packaging about this size, so you can kind of see the size difference. It doesn't get quite as big as the others do, but it gets fairly large. My complaint though, because of course I have one, it's not soft. It's still pretty hard, because I think they were going for that spring that the Real Techniques didn't have. So you have your spring, it's super bouncy, but you hear that? That's a normal tap. If you do that with a beauty blender, I hear nothing, because that's the difference in the softness of the beauty blender. So, I think Beauty 360 is going somewhere, and oh my gosh, this point is everything underneath the eye. But it's still too hard to use all over the face. If we're going to talk favorite sponges, my favorite sponge is the Real Techniques, available for $6.99 at drugstores, Walmart, and Ulta. Target too, I think. Available to the masses, hard to find sometimes because everybody loves it, but available to the masses for $6.99. I love it, you'll love it too, go for it. Second favorite sponge. Unfortunately, it is the Beauty Blender. There's not anything quite like it, but for the price, it's like selling your firstborn sometimes, especially when you're a college student. Now, my third favorite sponge is going to go for the Sephora sponge. Even though it's super delicate, it is the best of both worlds as far as springy and soft. So that is number 3. And then my fourth favorite sponge. It's gotta be the Beauty 360, only available at CVS. It's about $5.99, but it is a good sponge. If you can't find the Real Technique sponge, it's a great option. Maybe get this one. It's a little bit softer, but it's a good sponge. Now, I know that's a lot of information, but there's one more thing we have to talk about, and that's counterfeit sponges, knockoffs, that you find all over AliExpress and Amazon and Wish and Cute and all of those apps. You're gonna get 4 or 5 sponges directly from some mass market option in China or Japan, Taiwan. Sometimes you'll get them from Europe as well. And those particular sponges are gonna be hard. They're not gonna swell up and be beautiful. You know how I know that? I bought them. All of them. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. I used to have like 26 sponges, most of which were knockoff sponges. You know how many beauty blenders I could have bought? If I would have just bought, I could have bought like 2 beauty blenders with the amount of cheap knockoff sponges I bought from overseas, trying to find the best one. So beware of knockoffs. And knockoffs don't just come in the beautiful pink egg shape that you see all over the place. There are knockoffs for the Real Technique sponge as well. I have one right here in coral. So be aware, those sponges are not made with quality materials and they're a waste of money. Don't bother. Let me be your tale of brokenheartedness. Because trust me, if there was a $2 sponge that worked just as good as the $6 sponge, I would buy the $2 sponge. Y'all know your girl all about that life. So, do me a favor. Buy the Real Technique sponge. Or buy one of these Beauty 360 sponges. And give it a whirl. Especially if you already love the Beauty Blender. Because I want to know your opinion. So, I mean, Beauty Blender, I love you guys. They have some really cool stuff. They were super innovative. That technology is crazy. But the price tag is hard to swallow sometimes. So, that's my thoughts on sponges. There were a lot of thoughts in there. Hopefully you guys love them. Go find a Real Technique sponge and love it up. Apply it. It works blush, contour, all sorts of things. Maybe I'll do that sometimes. A full face with just a sponge. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to see that. But I think that's all I have for today. I can't think of anything else. Oh, Brad's birthday was yesterday. So this is actually going up Friday. And his birthday was Wednesday. Today's Thursday. So Brad's birthday was 2 days ago. And we had a really good time. We got to hang out at home and that was great. So, and we're going back home to Kansas City this weekend. I'm really excited about that. So Monday's video, I think it's going to be a hair tutorial. I think I'm going to borrow my sister-in-law's hair and do a tutorial on that. But, yeah, I'm Morgan. This is Tinsley Trials, and I will see you guys next time, Monday. Bye.